Hello everyone, and welcome back to the presidential D&D campaign. This is our second session playing through the Mansions of Madness, a pre-made Call of Cthulhu adventure, so we are not playing D&D this week. If you missed our last episode, it can be found at this link here or in the description.
All right, here's the true test. Joe, do you remember our last session?
Of course I do. We met Thorn, who is a frog person and is working for the mayor of Dunsmouth. And then we encountered a whole village of zombies, but they are good guy zombies.
All right, you were right, Donald.
Honestly, that's an impressive number of things to remember from previous episodes, though. I will give Joe a bit of credit for that.
Just saying, I really am the smartest. I knew for a fact that Joe wouldn't remember a single thing that we did in our last session.
I did miss playing these games, though. It really was too long of a break.
I did too, and our more frequent and shorter episodes is a nice callback to when we started the channel. Anyways, should we get started with a recap? Donald, since you are the smartest, do you want to do it?
No problem in the slightest. I remember every single thing that happened. We started off driving into the town and then met with some lawyer guys who gave us the key to the house. Then I ran into the sheriff and bought a gun. Barack went and talked to some people at the place we are staying, and Joe went to go buy some salt. Now we are on our way to the Fitzgerald Estate.
I'm actually impressed, Donald. You made it through that without talking about yourself too much.
And covered most of the things that happened. I agree with Joe. I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah, that was a good recap. All right, to get started, the three of you are on your way to the Fitzgerald Estate. It's a nice drive through the countryside and only takes about 10 minutes to get out there. You drive past cornfields and fields with yellow wheat broken rather suddenly by a wall of trees. There is a wooden sign at the start of the driveway that says Home of Arthur Cornthwaite, the owner of the Fitzgerald Estate, and a large wrought iron gate that blocks your progress. A large padlock hangs on chains in the middle of the gate.
I will hop out and use the key I got from the Dodge brothers to unlock the gate.
Leave it open in case we need to make a speedy escape. We don't know what we are dealing with yet.
Okay, sure. I will leave the padlock on the chains, but with the gate wide open and get back in the car.
The driveway is neatly paved, though there are some creeping plants that have started to encroach on the sides. After the thick wall of trees on the exterior of the perimeter, you see the top of the house just a short ways ahead. There is a lush garden that surrounds the house with bright flowers, trees, and vines that look like they belong in a jungle.
Can I make a spot hidden check to see if there's anything around?
Yeah, for sure.
Damn, that wasn't great. I only had a 26 and I rolled a 50.
My turn. Ben, I want to make that same check.
All right, I will allow it.
That's a 44, which is a success. I'm so much better than you, Joe.
Shut up, Donald. I could beat your character up with one hand tied behind my back.
Yeah, right, that's a bald-faced lie. God, Joe, you're always lying.
All right, let's get back to it. Did Donald see anything, Ben?
Thanks, Obama. Yes, Donald, partially obscured in the thick garden to the east of the house, you spot a small rundown shed. You also notice that there is a path through the garden, presumably leading to the back of the house, that has also started to become overrun with vegetation.
That shed is definitely something, and it could be good to scout out the back before heading in. What do you think, guys, now that we are here? If we split up, we are gonna die. 100% happens every time. Well, you guys are gonna die, and then I will come in to save the day.
We could check out the shed. Yeah. Sounds like the sheriff already searched the house and didn't find anything. I don't know how much of the grounds he searched. Is Arthur's car still here, Ben?
It is, yeah, a nicer car than the one you drove up in. It looks like it hasn't been moved in a couple of weeks, though, and is pretty dirty at the moment.
I want to go around the back of the house. You guys can go to the shed.
Fine, Joe. Go off alone. Just disregard everything I said. And the lesson in every single horror movie ever made.
I can handle myself. We should wait to go into the house until we are all together, probably, though.
All right, so Donald and Obama, you two are going to go check out the shed. And Joe, you want to go along the path and check out the back of the house.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
The two of you cut across the yard towards the shed, gaining an increasingly bad feeling as you get closer to it. Coming closer, it is in even worse shape than you could tell from afar. The boards are starting to decay, and there is a damp smell in the air as you approach it.
I want to rest my hand on my gun.
I guess I will reach out to open the shed.
As you open the shed, Barack, a gust of wind sends some leaves across the floor of the shed. You feel a dark sense of foreboding, but everything seems normal. Inside, in the dim gloom, you see various gardening tools, a wheelbarrow, a pick, a saw, some head clippers, and some shovels. All of them are pretty dirty and rusty.
Can I make a spot hidden roll?
Yeah, go for it. You can make 1, 2, Donald.
Damn, fail for me with a 53.
I truly am the greatest. That's a 44. Another success.
Obama, you don't really see much of anything as you take a small step inside, though. You do trip slightly over some shovels. Donald, you see that on one of the racks, there is a missing space where some other tool should be. The faint impression on the wall and the empty space looks like it could have been an axe.
Great, the ghost or demon or whatever has a weapon now. Joe is probably already dead.
Speaking of which, Joe, walking along the path, you are quite amazed at the variety of plants here. It looks like Arthur was quite the herbalist and brought back saplings and seeds from all over the place during his travels. You aren't quite sure how he got most of these to grow, as they require a very damp atmosphere, but you do feel a bit of respect for how well cultivated of a garden it is. It is also quite clear that it is in disrepair a bit, as the plants are growing over the sides of the path and it is a bit difficult to traverse, and just around a bend in the path, you almost run straight into a fallen over tree that blocks the path.
Is it a normal tree?
What the hell kind of question is that, Joe?
A good one.
It looks pretty normal, but also looks like it has been knocked over for quite a while. Large growths of mushrooms cover a lot of the surface, and it is definitely in a late stage of decay.
Can I get around it?
You could get around it in a couple of different ways. There's enough room that you could crawl under one of the sides, where it rests on another tree. You could dip into the lush undergrowth and try to go around it, or you could try to climb over the top of it.
Climbing under it seems like a bad idea.
Climbing over it could be bad too. We don't know if those are normal mushrooms, and it could collapse on you if it is decayed enough.
All right, I will try to go around it, Ben.
You enter the undergrowth off the side, cutting around the tree. At the base of the fallen over tree, you step on something slick and begin to lose your balance. Do you want to make just a straight up dexterity roll?
That's a 27, which is a hard success. Rolls against base stats are pretty easy.
You manage to regain your balance, though your hands do become quite dirty from grabbing a tree branch to stabilize yourself, and looking down, you see a thick, oozy slime coming from the base of the tree trunk. You also notice a cellar door on the side of the house, presumably leading to the basement.
That's gross about the ooze and good to know about the cellar door. But for now, I just want to get back on the path. Is there anything else out here?
The foliage clears up a bit, and you find yourself in a courtyard of sorts. There is an ornate fountain in the center of the clearing, though it looks like it has not been cleaned in a while. And there is a thick layer of brown leaves and mud on the bottom. The neat cobblestone circle has been broken up with vines and plants pushing up through the ground, but is still walkable. A few stone benches line the perimeter. These also look worn and weathered, though, and you can see the back door of the house as well.
It's interesting that everything Joe found looks like it hasn't been taken care of for a while, and yet he has only been missing for what, 2 weeks at this point?
For once, that is a good point, Obama. How long has the Cornthwaite guy been missing for Ben?
Well, the Dodge brothers sent out a letter just a few days after his disappearance, and then it would take a little bit to get to you and for you to arrive in Gamwell. I would say no more than 3 weeks all around, though.
Is that long enough for the garden to be as rampant as it is?
You can make either a science roll or a natural world roll to see what your character thinks.
Well, I don't have either of those, so I will try for natural world. I need below a 10. And that's a 57. I guess coming from the big city, I have no idea how a garden like this would grow or behave.
Yeah, you're not quite sure?
All right, well, I will go in the back door of the house, I guess.
And we are heading in the front door. We get there before Joe does too.
You all enter the house at pretty much the same time. Donald and Obama are returning from the shed just as Joe enters through the back door. You can actually see each other as you open the doors. Both doors have a hallway which leads into a larger living room with a staircase leading upstairs. Donald, as you open your door, a large piece of wet plaster peels off the ceiling and plops to the floor in front of you. The entire house feels humid, wet, and abandoned.
Well, at least I didn't get any on me. Joe, your hands look filthy.
What's the general layout of the ground floor, Ben?
Immediately to Joe's left, there is a door leading into another room of the house. There is the staircase leading upstairs and several rooms around the perimeter of the house. It looks like the room that you are in has doors that lead to 7 other rooms, plus the one that Joe entered into.
Well, I guess I will go through the door on my left. I want to find a sink of some sort to wash off my hands.
All right, and Trump and Obama, what are you guys doing?
Well, there's 2 sketchy places in every house. The attic and the basement. I don't know if this place has a basement, so I will head up to the attic.
I saw that cellar, so there's probably a basement entrance somewhere.
That's a good point, Joe. Kind of impressed you remembered that. All right, so there's 2 floors, the attic, and a basement. Is that right, Ben?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, I will go start to explore the 2nd floor. Joe, this floor will be yours once you finish washing up.
All right, let's start with Joe then. Joe, you actually find yourself quite in luck as the door opens up into the kitchen. There is an island in the center of the kitchen, and some pots and pans hang on hooks on the walls. A sink with a large basin is on one wall. You see a door slightly ajar leading into a pantry, and there is another 2 doors in the room that you were not sure where they lead.
First things first, I want to wash my hands. Then I will probably head into one of the other rooms, unless there's something else in here. Maybe I will roll spot hidden before heading into the next room.
Turning a handle, you hear a bit of water in the pipes, but no more than a few drops come out as the pipes begin groaning.
Well, that's not great. I will turn it off again. Is there a towel or something nearby?
There's a kitchen towel, though it feels damp and smells moldy.
I guess I will just have dirty hands. All right, is there anything else in this room?
Roll for spot hidden.
Sweet, that's a 10. A hard success.
Nice, all right. You notice a couple of things. A couple decorative canisters are on a shelf and labeled flour, sugar, tea, and coffee. There looks to be one missing canister from the row. You also see a small line of white crystals along the base of one of the doors.
I wonder what that is.
Just ask Hunter.
It's probably just salt or something. Could be what the missing canister was, too.
Sure, salts.
All right, can I try to go through that door, Ben?
The doorknob twists, but the door won't budge at all.
Weird. Can I try to really push into it, or maybe find some sort of lever to try to pry the door open?
Sure. You are able to wedge part of a fire poker from the fireplace into the door frame. Do you want to roll strength?
That's a success at 60.
Yeah, a door still doesn't budge.
Weird. All right, I will leave that alone and head into the other room. Does that door open?
It does, opening up into a dining hall. All right, let's head to Donald next. Donald, at the top of the main staircase, you see a rope hanging from the ceiling, a cord that pulls down a trap door, and ladder leading into the attic.
All right, guys, after I get through here, I will solve the whole thing.
Pulling down the trapdoor and ladder, you enter into the attic of the house. Boxes and personal possessions are scattered about, and cobwebs dripping with moisture hang from the rafters. Two large windows on opposite sides of the attic light the space.
I want to roll spot hidden to see if there's anything suspicious up here. There has never been a greater human in all of history. That's a 6, which is half of what I needed for an extreme success. What has that been? A mega extreme success.
Not quite, but that is a really good roll. Looking around the attic, you spot a broken shipping crate pushed up against one of the walls. The lid has been knocked off, and the front of the crate looks like it almost exploded outwards. Nudging one of the pieces of wood, you see that it is extremely water damaged as well.
You said it was a shipping crate. Is there a shipping label or something that says where this crate came from?
There is a shipping label and a variety of stickers on the crate indicating that it was shipped here from South America.
Interesting. All right, guys, it's probably some sort of cursed object that we are looking for. Keep your eyes out. It blew up this crate. Probably can blow up one of you guys, too.
Or it could be a creature of some sort. Arthur brought something back, it looks like, at least.
All right, well, let's pause Donald for a second there and move over to Obama. As you climb the stairs and see Donald heading up to the attic, you see a handful of doors that you could try to explore. One is directly in front of you. There are 2 to your right, 2 to your left, and one final one down the hallway.
Let's go through the one in front of me. Seems like a good place to start.
Door swings open into a master bedroom, expensively furnished with fine furniture, clothing, and paintings. It appears that Arthur was quite successful in his ventures. An ornate bed is pushed up against one of the walls, and there is a fireplace on the other. 2 plush armchairs are in front of the fire, and a pair of blue slippers are over there as well. 2 small nightstands on either side of the bed have an assortment of personal goods on them, such as a gold-plated cigar case and an ornate jewelry box. The room does feel extremely damp, and you even see some moisture dripping down from the ceiling.
I want that cigar case and anything valuable from the jewelry box, Obama.
I'm not going to steal from this guy. We don't even know yet if anything truly has happened to him. He could be fine.
He's not fine.
Yeah, I'm with Don on this one. The back door wasn't even locked, and his car is in the driveway. He's probably been kidnapped at the very least.
And I don't trust that sheriff either. The whole town might be a cult, and Arthur finally wised up to it.
I agree that he's probably not fine, and I doubt we're going to find him in one piece. But still, I'm not robbing him. If you want a Donald, that's on you. All right, Ben, can I roll spot hidden to see if there is anything of interest in here?
Sure thing.
Thank goodness that's a 9, which is a hard success since I have a 31 on my spot hidden.
You note a couple of interesting things in this room. One, you see a thin line of dried white powder on both the window sills and below the door to the room. You also see a decorative container under one of the 2 armchairs. This one labeled salt. It has been knocked over, and you can see that it is empty.
Well, that confirms our suspicions that these white lines we are finding is salt then.
Say what you will, I'm sticking with my own theory.
It's obviously Salt Donald. He probably thought he was being haunted or something. That's why it's under the doors and on the windows.
Is there anything else in this room, Ben?
Not that you've seen.
All right, I will grab the container just in case, and then I will head to one of the other rooms, preferably one of the ones on the right of the staircase as I came up them.
Okay, that finishes up our first round of investigation. Donald, where did you want to head next? The attic is just a single room, so you've explored this whole floor. You could head down to the first floor to help Joe, or the second floor to help Obama.
I will just head down to the second floor.
All right, Donald, as you start climbing down the ladder, you hear a weird squelching sound. Looking down at the first rung, you see it covered in a thick slime. Barack, as you open the door to one of the other rooms, you see a series of small black handprints all over the floors and walls and hear a scratching sound coming from inside the room. Joe, as you step into the dining hall, you see a shadow pass over the room coming from the window in the kitchen. Turning back to the window, you see a humanoid shape carrying something that looks suspiciously like an axe crossing past the window, and that seems like a good place to end this session.
Are you kidding me, Ben? Damn it, why do we have to end the session just as something interesting is happening for once?
It'll give us something to do at the start of the next session. What do you guys think is going on?
Well, obviously there was a ghost or something that left ectoplasm on the top of this ladder. You're fighting a demon or something, or maybe the ghost is in that room right now, and Joe is about to get murdered by a cultist from the town.
So your theory is that not only is the house haunted, but the Arthur guy also summoned a demon, and the town is involved in a nefarious cult.
It's called Mansions of Madness Joe. Obviously there can be more than one thing going on at a time.
Maybe. After you get down the ladder, Donald, you should come and help me in this room. Not sure what I'm up against here.
I kind of need both of you to come help me down here. There's a madman with an axe or something.
But we don't know that yet, Joe. Just on the second floor, presumably right by the ladder. Unless you call out, which means that the axe guy is going to come barging in, then we don't even know you're in trouble.
Yeah, Joe's a goner. Sorry, Joe.
All right, well, if you want me to survive, or if you liked and enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out and we appreciate it. And now that we are back to a regular posting schedule, you don't want to miss what happens next.
Thanks, Joe, and thank you all for watching to the end of the video. We will see you all next time.